Hello everybody, welcome to Mother Rabbit's Kitchen. Today we are getting ready for a fiesta. We are going to our small group tonight, our church small group, our home group. I don't know what you guys call it. We're gonna party tonight, fiesta style. My friend Anita is making her famous taco ring, which I'm gonna ask her for the recipe for because I really wanna make a video out of it and take all the credit. So she's making that tonight by my request, and I said I'll bring the guac and chips. And so that is what I'm making right now. I've been wanting to record this video for you for a while, and I've also been wanting to make this and eat this for a while. So today is the day. Now let's get started. For this guacamole, I'm using pretty traditional ingredients, but I kind of give it my own kick in terms of I use a lot of tomatoes. I also use a lot of cilantro, and I also use garlic in it, which is not necessarily a traditional ingredient, but I think it gives it so much flavor. So we are gonna start with our tomatoes, mainly because they take a lot of time to prepare, and I try to get my avocados done at the last second because avocados tend to turn brown. It doesn't mean they're bad, it just means that the oxygen is hitting the flesh and it just oxidizes and turns brown. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our tomatoes, slice them in half, and then we're just gonna dig out with a spoon, just the insides. We wanna get all of that watery seed stuff out of. So I just seeded 5 plum tomatoes. You can get any tomatoes you like. These are on sale, so I'm going with the plum tomatoes. I'm gonna set those aside for a minute. Now I can work on my avocados. I'm gonna use 4 perfectly ripe avocados. Getting avocados to the ripe stage is like a fine art or maybe a fine science, but look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? That is perfect. So what you're looking for a ripe avocado, if you are buying them the same day that you're making the salsa, you want a nice dark skin. When you press gently, it's going to give a little bit. It's gonna feel a little bit soft, not mushy. If it's mushy, it's way past and it'll be brown and yucky on the inside. If it feels rock hard, you need to give it a few days. Sometimes it's just like luck of the draw. I'll go pick up some avocados that I wanna use that day and I'm like, great, there are none that I can use. And then I have to make something else or just improvise, or sometimes be like, put them in a bag with bananas for a few hours. It'll like help a little bit, but it's never really worked that well for me. So all I'm gonna do is take out the pit. Now here, it's gonna look like a dangerous thing, but it's actually okay. You're gonna hold your avocado in your hand. You're just gonna take a sharp knife and just kind of stab it and just gently twist and it comes off, and then just pull it off and then you're done. Otherwise, if you try to scoop it out with a spoon, it's just really hard to dig out. You're gonna end up taking out the flesh of the avocado. And we wanna use every bit of the avocado flesh. It's the star of the show. Next thing I'm gonna do before I scoop out the flesh, I'm just gonna take my knife and just cut through gently until it makes like a little checkered pattern there. Again, I'm not going all the way through so that it pierces the skin. This is just kind of like pre-chopping. Just gonna do that on all of these avocados, and it makes it, when you scoop it out, it just comes out in these perfect little chunks. And then you don't have to worry about like really mashing the avocado. As you stir everything together, it will just naturally mix and mash together. So I have 4 avocados here, and once you score them like this, you can just scoop out with a spoon. Be careful these little like, whatever that is called. If it comes out easily, just take it out. You don't want it to fall out and into your guacamole. That would be like hard and crunchy. So just scoop between the flesh and the skin. So you're using all of that avocado, let it fall right into your bowl, and then just put the skin in your garbage bowl. And then we're gonna work quickly because we don't want this to brown. The ingredient that we're gonna use right after we get our avocado in here is lime juice, because the acid in the lime juice will help slow down the oxidation or browning. Whoops, slippery. Oops, see? It'll be like a really hard nut that you can't really bite through. Okay, get that out of there. Now my avocados are all chopped up. We're gonna get our limes ready. I've got 2 limes here. I'm probably just gonna start with 1. It just really depends on how juicy your limes are. So I'm gonna start with 1 just to get a really good coating of that acidic lime juice over the avocado. Then we'll add more if we want more lime flavor. I really do like a lot of lime flavor, so, but you don't wanna overdo it at the same time. When you are looking for limes, you want limes that are nice and firm. If your limes feel kind of soft, like they have a little give, that means they are not filled with juice. So look at all the juice that's coming out of this. That's what you want to see. I have in the past, before I really knew about picking out good limes and lemons, I thought like, oh, it's nice and like soft and ripe, like like an avocado. It doesn't work like that. Oh my gosh. I love the smell of lime. Makes me want a margarita, but that's fine. All right, here's the other half. This will probably be plenty for the whole thing. And if you want to make a smaller version of this, just cut down on your ingredients. To me, like when I make guacamole, it's usually because I'm sharing it with a bunch of people. So I usually make a big batch of it. I'm gonna stir it around so everything gets nice and coated. So you can even, if you want to, just kind of cut through it a little bit. If you wanted to take a potato masher and do that, that would be totally fine. So this is what you're looking for. It's like half mashed and half really chunky. If you just sprinkle a little salt on this, that's delicious right there. Avocado, lime, and salt, that is a delicious snack. But we're gonna go all the way and make this into a really amazing guacamole. I forgot the name for a second. Okay, now we're gonna add a bunch of tomatoes. Normally, if you get guacamole at an authentic restaurant, it will either not have tomatoes or it'll just have a few in there. I love tomatoes in my guacamole, so I'm going like full-fledged, like it's almost like an avocado salsa, I guess you could call it. So when I chop up my tomatoes, I put them skin side down because the skin, the knife doesn't cut through the skin very well. It kind of slips around. So when you put it skin side down, it cuts through the flesh much better. And just be really careful because as things get slippery, things get dangerous. So be careful. But if you look at that color already, the green and the red, that already looks like a party. Hide that thumb while you are chopping. The party will be over if you cut your thumb tip off. So I'm going a little bit fast because we gotta be there in a little bit, but just go slow. Safety first. The next thing I'm gonna add is my red onion. I just have half of an onion here. I'm probably not even gonna use all that. And I'm gonna chop it as thinly as possible. If you don't, I bought a red onion because I was making something else yesterday that involved onion and I was like, let me just get a red onion. I love the flavor of it and I'll use it all between the two meals. Got a little bit of a dead part there. I'm gonna take this layer off. But you can use a small white onion just so you know, if you're only using it for this, so you don't waste. Okay, so I'm just gonna make little cuts thinly. And you're gonna want, I'm actually gonna slice this first part off just because it was exposed. Make sure your hand is not wet when you're holding your knife. We're working with a lot of slippery ingredients. So I'm just going to very thinly, just a little goes a long way. Raw onion, it's got a bite to it. So I'm gonna probably put, I don't know, that's like 2 tablespoons in there. And whoops, right in my salt. I'm probably gonna stop there. I'm gonna toss this around. Do you see how pretty this looks? Yep, I'm gonna stop there. Now we're gonna do our jalapeños. Here's where you have a little wiggle room for heat. If you like things really, really spicy and everyone that you're serving it to also does, you can just chop these up and throw them in. The spiciest part of the avocado is not just the seeds, but it's also this white pith here. Is it called pith? Ribs? I don't know. So I'm just, when you don't really know what people dig in terms of spicy and not spicy. Oh, my eyes are burning. Oh, I just splashed them in my eye. Okay, so I'm just taking a spoon. Here, I'll show you how I'm doing this. I'm taking a spoon. A grapefruit spoon works really well. I used to have a grapefruit spoon. I don't know where it is. So I'm just, there's like jalapeno juice in the air. Okay. Okay, I'm guessing these, did I get jalapenos or did I get like habaneros? Because these are like just emitting a lot of spice in my life right now. Anyway, I'm digging all of this out. Another thing is safety when dealing with jalapenos. If you are touching jalapenos with your bare hands, you can use gloves if you want to. Your fingers will be carrying on all of that spice. So do not touch your eyes, your nose, anything like that until you, excuse me. Do not touch your eyes or your nose or anything like that until your hands are very thoroughly washed. Anybody who's done this a bunch of times has learned the hard way, so just take it from us. We're still gonna have a little bit of heat just because the flesh of the avocados, limes, just because just the general meat of the jalapeños do have a little spice to them, but it will just be like a little kick. It won't melt your face off, like if you included the seeds and such. Okay, so you can also just do one jalapeno if you want to, or if you love jalapenos, do 3 or 4. Jalapenos are in, and then last but certainly not, oh no, it's not last. 2 more things. We've got our, you know what, I'm gonna go for our, yeah, I'll do our cilantro first. Oh, so good. It's like every ingredient in here is like one of my favorite things in the world. So I'm gonna put a lot of cilantro in here. I'm just ripping the entire head off, getting all of those delicious leaves. And you just kind of keep it nice and tight while you're going through it. And then just run your knife through it a couple of times. Don't go crazy, you don't have to mince it. You're just little pieces. Don't go too crazy with the knife, it'll lose its freshness. So cilantro is in. The last thing we're gonna add is our garlic. So I'm just gonna smash this just to get the skin off. And you're gonna see a little trick how I do this. When you're dealing with raw garlic, you don't wanna bite into a big chunk. You just don't. So I'm going to mince this. I'm just gonna use about half of the clove of garlic. A little goes a long way. It's not even really an ingredient in traditional guacamole. I just love the flavor of it. Gives it so much yummy flavor. So I'm just gonna mince it as finely as I can. And then I'm gonna do one little trick that I'm gonna show you. Now, keep in mind, we did not add any salt to this yet, but guacamole definitely needs salt. So before we sprinkle it right into the bowl, we are going to make a little garlic paste using some, hi buds, using some kosher salt. We're gonna sprinkle some kosher salt right on here. And we're just going to mash the salt, just don't let him hit that. Mash the salt. Just like that. The kosher salt acts like its own little mortar and pestle kind of thing. Is it mortar and pestle or mortar and pestle? Oh, is that how you pronounce it? Okay. I want to host you too. Okay. So that's mashed nice and fine. It's going to really evenly disperse throughout the guacamole. Whoops, dropped a little of it. You want more? All right, ask Daddy for some more. Okay, I think we're done with our knife. Well, I'll keep it out just in case we want to add more lime.
What's that?
And I'm just, guacamole. I'm just gonna give it a really good stir. Then I'm gonna taste it. And a really good stir because we've got that tiny bit of garlic in there that we really want to spread out well. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little taste and just see where we are on our seasoning, both with the salt and the lime. I want to sing a Spanish song right now. I will tell you what. Stop. I will tell you what. I'm going to add more salt and I'm going to add this other lime. So a few good pinches of this. And then roll that second lime. That first one was really juicy, but it just could really use that extra party flavor. The lime really brings the party to this. I'm going to squeeze in half, give it a stir, and then another taste.
Wow.
This is my favorite part. I just taste and taste till I'm satisfied. It's so good. A little bit more salt. Yeah, I'm coming. All right, one more little taste. Guacamole.
Mom, can I see the guacamole?
This is so delicious. You guys have to try this. It's so good. I'm gonna be that girl that when I get to the party, I'm just gonna eat the whole bowl of my own guacamole. And I'm gonna hover over it so no one can taste it. It's so good. I'm gonna put it in a fancy dish, bring over this really cool plate that our in-laws, my in-laws, gave us years and years ago. It's like from South America, I think, somewhere. All right, thank you for joining me. I hope you try this. I hope you enjoy it. And like I always say, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Bye guys, thank you.